obtain to how do you put it, these measurement problems in quantum physics to renormalize the I know that book is a little bit inconsistent and so on, but it has the freshness of this radical breakthrough. So what I want to say is that there, Badiou does something wonderful. He proposes, and only now he's slowly returning to it. There he already has this link between anxiety and event. His idea, and it's done wonderfully, Bruno Bostels and already Badiou links these to the opposition between Aeschylus, I hope I pronounce this shitty names correctly, Aeschylus and Sophocles. Usually psychoanalysts like Sophocles, you know, the great one, Antigone, we all love Oedipus myth. But for Badiou introduces 4 notions. Terror, anxiety, courage, justice. And for him, for Badiou, Sophocles is the poet writer of terror, anxiety. Antigone, terror, anxiety, death, this kind of a tragic pessimism. While Aeschylus is the one of courage, justice. You also do have anxiety, like in Oresteia, you know, who is called the young Greek, who killed his father.
Which?
My God, I always forget.
Agamemnon?
No, who killed him? The son, the name.
Orestes.
Sorry? Orestes, my God, Oresteia. I'm slightly stupid. Yes, Orestes. You know, you have terror, anxiety, but then it's overcome with courage, and then at the end, a new justice. I here suggested a correction to Badiou, which this time I can say, at least he claims to me, I don't know what he will tell to you behind my back, he accepted that justice sticks out here. I don't think it belongs here, because all other 3 notions, terror, anxiety, courage, name, let's call them naively, subjective attitudes, while justice is something different. So I suggested replacing justice with enthusiasm. That in the same, terror is linked to anxiety in a homologous way, courage is linked to enthusiasm. It's through courage that you, when you are terrified and thrown into anxiety, through courage you overcome and you convert, as it were, anxiety into enthusiasm. So why am I mentioning this? Because here, nonetheless, so that I don't say only bad things about Badiou, here I agree with him against, as already hinted at, against Lacanians. For Lacanians, this is not psychoanalytically correct and so on, but the stakes are extremely high here, politically. Because what unfortunately predominates among the Lacanians is this kind of a psychoanalytic, how should I call it naively, sometimes almost cynical pessimism. The idea is that the ultimate confrontation with the real, the ultimate truth is the traversing the fantasy, you know, this kind of a tragic, as if looking sun into the eye, and then it's a single, first it's an experience which cannot be protracted. The idea of Lacan is that, you know, it's like Antigone. You enter some prohibited domain, you cannot stay there. You must return to ordinary reality full of illusions. And B, Lacan unfortunately insists on this one, this ultimate, let's call it naively, authentic subjective experience of traversing the fantasy is singular, individual, in the sense that for Lacanians, although it looks sometimes more ambiguous, but basically, ultimately, nonetheless, collectivity as such is collective action is the domain of illusions. Every collectivity is sustained by imaginary, symbolic identification, and the real is mask, all the shit, and so on and so on. I am here absolutely on Badiou's side. I think that you can, losing nothing of the authenticity of anxiety, you can revert, as it were, transform anxiety into enthusiasm, and at the same time collectivizing it, as it were, collectivizing it So that there is, I don't buy this game, which then you end up where Jacqueline Miller ended now, writing regularly political comments for Le Point and Le Figaro, the two big right of center, and making this kind of, it's a kind of a how should I call it, Badiou was right when in his love for Jacobin radicals. He said that effectively the ultimate choice is virtue or corruption. And I was effectively shocked. You know how it became, I think this was the beginning of the decline of Miller, where already, when did Berlusconi first explode in Italy? Almost 10 years ago, no?
1994.
Yeah, even more, yeah. Miller used that in order to praise corruption. Miller openly said that a little bit of corruption, we have realistically to accept it, that if you fight corruption, you end up in some kind of totalitarian terror and so on, or madness. And he was not for Berlusconi, but you know how Berlusconi came to power. It was that big action of the money pulito or whatever, where the whole establishment of Christian democracy and so on disintegrated, and then Berlusconi entered. So this was Miller's message, as it were. We should be realistic, a little bit of corruption, extra, and he was always fascinated by this. It's incredible to what extent, for example, he visited Slovenia already under communism. When I was young, we invited him in 79, 80, and when we told him, you see, we shouldn't go here, this is just for high party functionaries, but we can squeeze you in. Oh, he was always kind of a, he's so fascinated by this small, and he thinks he's saying something very deep. He considers this a wisdom, that a certain amount of corruption, you have to accept it to make things running, and so on and so on. I find this terrifying. This is what I'm talking about, this kind of a attitude of cynical wisdom, in the sense of, after you've gone through fantasy, you see the ultimate void, then you return to daily life, but you are aware we are all just playing games, it's just a game. This kind of a cynical wisdom. I'm totally opposed to this attitude. I don't buy this. Again, I think it's politically catastrophic. I even doubt. Sorry, but are you there scratching yourself, or you did raise hand? Sorry, please, yeah.
Question. On what you said, that Badiou has been going, he had somewhat like an attempt to renormalize, his theory and make it fit in a bit of a framework. After being an event, there were some comments and a huge debate where I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was Peter Hallward's comments that pushed Badiou to examine even more closely, take the attention from the event itself to the event outside, into how this works.
Yeah. You mean the works fidelity and so on, yeah.
So it was Hallward's,
Yeah.
work.
Although, okay,
But,
please, yeah.
What I realized now in this, the last book, in The Logic of Words, where there is explicit mentioning of intensities and so on, I tried to put this question forward in the public lecture, but he shoved it off, like nothing.
I know, he's in his style. I was told he wants only written questions, and so on. I like this.
Anyway, this issue of intensities and privileging difference so much brings him so very close to Deleuze, for me.
That's a very good question, which is why, can I tell you, I already mentioned
this. Your opinion on this, because...
No, I can just tell you something which confirms this. Do you know that, okay, he will maybe deny it, this is private conversation. After reading Peter Hallward's critique of Deleuze, Out of This World, I met at one of these city conferences there, Peter, and told him, but probably you know that the way you formulate your critique of Deleuze, that the true target appears to be Badiou himself. That basically the point is that the event can be out of this world and so on. And he said, yeah, I know, and so on, no? So my answer to this, sorry, please finish. Did you? No, yeah, okay. Yeah. No. Okay, let me tell you, where do I